The call came at 3:12 on a quiet Tuesday, right when I thought the day couldn't get any worse. I was mid-sentence in an email when my phone vibrated. Something inside me already knew. Mrs. Carter? It's St. Mary's Elementary. Ethan collapsed in gym. He's conscious but in severe pain. The ambulance is here. You need to meet us at Memorial Hospital now. I didn't speak to anyone at work. I just ran. Keys, bag, phone. Hazard lights on the entire drive. Red lights became suggestions. I prayed out loud, short, desperate bursts between sobs I didn't have time to feel to be. By the time I burst through the doors, they had already wheeled him to imaging. The surgeon didn't waste words. Appendix ruptured. Perforation is bad. Sepsis is setting in fast. We're taking him to surgery now. The next 48 hours are critical. In the pre-op bay, I held his burning little hand while machines beeped and nurses flew around us. His eyes, huge and glassy, looked up at me. "Mommy, am I going to die?" "No, baby," I lied with a smile that felt like glass. "Mommy's right here. I'm not going anywhere." They rolled him away at 4:30. The doors closed and the silence hit me like a brick. I opened the family group chat. The one we'd use for birthdays, Christmas plans, every milestone for 10 years. I typed with shaking thumbs. "Ethan is in emergency surgery. Appendix burst. Sepsis. Next 48 hours critical. Please come to Memorial Hospital, surgical waiting area. I need you sent." Delivered. Read by all 5 of them within seconds. Nothing. I waited 20 minutes that felt like 20 years. Called mom, voicemail. Called dad, voicemail. Called Lauren, text back. "Already have plans tonight, keep us posted." Called Michelle, no answer. Called James, text. "Stuck at work, brutal deadline. Hope he's okay." Hope he's okay, like this was a stomach bug. Like my 10-year-old wasn't fighting for his life on an operating table. 4 hours. For hours alone in that waiting room, watching other families hold each other, pass coffee, pray together. I had an empty chair beside me and a hole in my chest so big I thought it might swallow me whole. 8:47 The surgeon finally walked out. "We got it all, but the infection was worse than we thought. He's in PICU. It's still touch and go for the next 48 hours. I nodded, numb. No one was coming that night. Sitting beside Ethan's bed while machines breathed for him, I made a promise to my unconscious little boy. If we make it through this, it'll just be us from now on. And we'll be enough. We were. We always were. A nurse guided me to the PICU. The sight of Ethan, so small, so pale, tubes in his arms, ventilator hissing, knocked the air out of me. I pulled the chair as close as the wires allowed, took his hot little hand, and didn't let go for the next 14 days that I slept folded in that vinyl recliner. I lived on vending machine coffee and cafeteria sandwiches. I showered in the parent room with a plastic hospital bag over my hair. I became a permanent fixture beside his bed. I was there for every fever spike to 104. Every time he cried from the pain. Every time he woke scared and whispered, "Mom, why didn't anyone come?" I kissed his forehead and lied gently. "They're just really busy, baby. But I'm here. Always." My phone stayed mostly silent. A few thinking of you texts. Nothing else. No one offered to bring clothes, food, or even sit with him for 30 minutes so I could breathe. Day 5, fever broke. Day 8, moved to a regular room. Day 12. Doctors said maybe home soon. Day 14. Ethan was playing a quiet game on his tablet, color finally back in his cheeks. That's when my phone exploded. 85 missed calls. Texts flooding in like a dam had broken. "Mom. Honey, please pick up. It's an emergency. Dad. The mortgage bounced. The bank is threatening foreclosure. Lauren. My car got repossessed this morning. Michelle. They're stopping Mom's chemo payments stopped. James. My business account is frozen. The loan went into default." I muted everything and kept helping Ethan sit up. 3 days later, we walked out of the hospital together. I carried him to the car, buckled him in, and took my son home. That night, while he finally slept in his own bed, I poured a glass of wine and listened to the voicemails. Everything clicked. 5 years ago, after the divorce, I'd quietly built real wealth, smart investments, promotions, discipline. No one in my family ever knew the full picture. For 5 years I'd been paying my parents' $800 mortgage because Dad's hours got cut. I'd been covering Lauren's $350 car note after she kept forgetting. I'd been sending $600 a month for Mom's cancer treatments when Michelle's husband was out of work. I'd co-signed and then quietly covered James's business loan when his startup kept bleeding money that I never told them it was me. I just set up auto payments from an account they never saw. The day Ethan's appendix burst, those payments stopped. Because the woman who had been carrying everyone finally had to carry her child instead. I finished the wine, deleted every voicemail, and blocked the numbers. Then I walked into Ethan's room, watched his chest rise and fall peacefully, and whispered to the dark. From now on, the only people I carry are the ones who would have shown up when you were fighting for your life. And for the first time in years, I slept without a single weight on my shoulders. I finished listening to the last voicemail, closed my eyes for a second, then dialed my mother. She picked up before the first ring finished. "Oh, thank God. Honey, the mortgage didn't go through. The bank is calling about foreclosure. You have to fix this." "I canceled it," I said, perfectly calm. Dead silence. "You canceled it? For 5 years I paid your mortgage. $48,000. I stopped the day Ethan's appendix burst. You can't do that. We'll lose the house. I texted every single one of you that my son was in emergency surgery with sepsis, that the next 48 hours were critical. I begged you to come. Lauren had plans. You had book club. Not one of you walked through that hospital door. Not for 5 minutes. That was different," she started. "Different." My voice stayed low, but it cut like ice. My 10-year-old was asking if he was going to die. I sat alone for 2 weeks. Alone. But now the mortgage is late and suddenly everyone has time. Dad grabbed the phone. I heard him in the background before he barked. "Listen here, young lady. Family helps family." "You're right," I said. "I've been the family bank for 5 years. $2,150 every month. That's $129,000 total. Lauren's car. Mom's chemo. James's business loan. Your house. I paid it all quietly so none of you ever had to worry." Silence again. When Ethan needed family, I got 85 missed calls about money. Not one call asking if my little boy was still breathing. Dad tried again, softer now. "We didn't know it was you paying." "Exactly. You never asked. You just assumed the money would always be there." "Well, it's not. Not anymore." Mom started crying in the background. "Please." Michelle's treatments. Michelle couldn't spare 2 hours to sit with her nephew while he fought for his life. Now the bill is due. That's between her and the hospital. I heard Lauren shouting something, James too. Chaos that I waited until it died down. "Here's what's going to happen," I said. "From this moment forward, the money train is permanently off the tracks. You are adults. You have jobs, spouses, choices. Figure it out. The same way I figured out how to keep my son alive with no one beside me." Dad again, voice cracking. "You'd really let us lose the house?" "I didn't let you lose the house. You did. Every month you spent money that wasn't yours and never once said thank you. I'm done being the invisible safety net you all took for granted." I hung up before anyone could reply. Then I blocked every number that I walked into Ethan's room. He was asleep, breathing steady, cheeks pink again, and I kissed his forehead and whispered, "It's just us now, baby. And we are more than enough. Some family you're born into. Some family you choose." From that day forward, my family became one little boy and the mother who will never let him carry anyone who wouldn't carry him. The calls kept coming for weeks. Angry ones. Pleading ones. Guilt-soaked ones. "Lauren, I need my car for work. You're literally ruining my life. I needed my family when my son was dying. You had plans, Michelle. I could die without treatment. How can you be this cruel? Ethan could have died. You never walked into that hospital once in 17 days, James. My business will collapse. I'll lose everything. I almost lost my child. You had a deadline. They dragged cousins, aunts, uncles into it. Your mother is devastated. This is extreme over one hospital visit. One visit. 17 days. 408 hours. I begged. I said sepsis. I said critical. How much clearer did it need to be? A week later, Mom showed up at my door, knocking, ringing, waiting. I watched through the window and never opened it. She left an envelope taped to the door. An $800 check and a note. "We'll cover the mortgage ourselves from now on. I'm sorry we didn't come. I thought you were exaggerating. I thought kids bounce back. I didn't realize. I cashed the check. That was the last money that ever moved from me to them. Ethan healed completely. Back to school. Back to soccer. Back to being a happy, loud 10-year-old with a wicked scar and a story he'll tell one day to why parents sold the house, downsized to a condo they can actually afford. Lauren drives a 10-year-old Civic and works 2 jobs. Michelle and her husband negotiated a hospital payment plan. James took on a partner and learned what bootstrap actually means. They all survived. They figured it out. Without me. 6 months later, Mom called. Not about money, just to ask how Ethan was, if we wanted Sunday dinner. I said, maybe one day. When the memory of sitting alone in that ICU stops hurting so much. Not yet. I sleep like a baby now. My bills are mine. My son is safe. My circle is tiny, but every person in it would have run into that hospital without being asked. I learned the difference between being needed and being valued. Turns out one costs $129,000 in 5 years of my life. The other is priceless. Some lessons are expensive. But peace? Peace was worth every single penny.